All right, well, I don't know. I haven't used it, so.
Hey, James.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to our Greater Des Moines team meeting.
It's good to see you. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late in the DSM. I have been first, I was in Belize, and then I went to North Carolina, and now I'm in Iowa. So I've just been back to back, and I'm just Southwest is running a little late today. So I apologize for my delay. It's good to see you. I see Susan on here. How are you, Susan? Good to see you. It's so great to see some of my friends from Iowa. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Oh, are we back in person? Are there people in the training room?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Iowa. There you go. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. That's so great. Good. I love it. It's nice to be in person again. Oh, there we go. What's up? How's everybody in the DSM? Good to see you. Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I can't hear anybody. I don't know. Is it me?
No, it's not you.
All right. All right. Are you wanting me to just like start? Is this James just talk? Is that what you wanted me to do? Or are we having a conversation?
Okay. So what I was thinking, James, is we'll just start off. I'm going to do a quick introduction for those who don't know you.
Okay, cool.
And let me know if I botch anything. It's been a while.
I'm sure you'll do great.
So James actually came when I was here back in 2016 as a Bold coach. So he was our Bold coach, did a phenomenal job. And so I saw his post on Facebook, and he was offering to speak at team meetings. And so I hopped on that opportunity, and that's why he's here today. So go ahead, James.
Well, I'm thankful to be here, and I love everybody in Des Moines. I've done 2 Bolds there, and it's always fun. And I'm excited to chat with you. The thing I think about is what a fun, interesting time we live right now. That's not true? We have the COVID going on, and then we've got all sorts of stuff with the market. So I want you all to talk to me. Don't be shy. I see a lot of cameras off. If you can turn your camera on, I'd love to see you. And I want you to interact with me too. I don't care if your kids are home or whatever. It's fine. No worries. I want to interact with you. I want to hear about what's going on in the market, whether you're in the training room or on the Zoom. Tell me what's happening in your market. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're experiencing? And then let's talk about some of those. So who wants to start us off?
Extremely low inventory. This is Rochelle.
Hey, Rochelle, how are you? So good to see you. She's one of my favorite people. Yeah, what's that? What'd you say?
Gabby, you're making Gabby jealous.
Is she there? Is Gabby there too? Where's Gabby? Let me tell you about Gabby real quick. Gabby would, when she worked for the Market Center, back when I did my first Bold, she would send me a text. What, do you want coffee? Well, the answer is always yes. And so then I wouldn't have to ask anymore. And I'd walk into the room. We'd go to the Animal Rescue League or whatever it's called. And I'd be there where it takes an hour and a half to make coffee for everybody else. We'd walk in and she'd turn around and she'd hand me my latte. Gabby, I love you. I really do. I love you so much. You're a great person. Okay, so Rochelle says we have really low inventory. Well, what's that about? Why do we have really low inventory right now in Des Moines?
Well, part of it is not so much the low inventory as it is a lot of buyers. So it's really hard for buyers right now. And we're behind on new construction. And we kind of have that perfect storm where the move up buyer doesn't have anywhere to go. So they're just choosing not to list their house.
Okay. All right. So hold on. And Rochelle, I got to interrupt you. And you know my heart and you know how much I care about you. So I want to correct something. So, the move-up buyer doesn't have anywhere to go. Is that true? Is this a one-on-one coaching call with Rochelle? Is that what's going on? Is it true that the move-up buyer has nowhere to go, or is the truth that they just have fewer options?
True, yes.
Okay. So then my question is, how are we setting the stage with them so that they truly understand this market? And so if we look at the well, okay, it's hard for them to find a new place. This is where I'm going to be unpopular. I don't care what the market is, whether there's 30,000 homes for sale or 300 homes for sale. For any individual buyer, there's only 5. Right? The state of the market is irrelevant. There's only 5 homes. If you sit down and how many of you do a buyer consultation? That's part of what you do. You sit down and do a buyer consultation. And back when I was selling, way back in the olden days, when I was selling, we would pull up, what I would do is pull up the MLS. And the first thing I would do is I would show them, and this is like after they've agreed to hire me, we have a buyer's agency agreement signed, we've done all the stuff. I'm going to show them the MLS and I'm going to click the button. Doesn't the MLS show you how many active listings there are in the MLS at that moment? Yeah. And I'm going to show, and whether it's 30,000 or 300, there's going to be a number. And they're going to say, okay, well, you don't want to live anywhere in Des Moines. So what part of Des Moines do you want to live in? And they tell me a zip code or something. And so I type in the zip code and I hit reset and the number shrinks. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm going to say, now you told me you want 4 bedrooms. So I'm going to put a minimum of 4 bedrooms. And then I'm going to hit reset again or update or whatever it is that just changes the number. We haven't pulled up any houses yet. I'm just shrinking the number down until we get to, say, 12 to 15. Now, it's possible that you'll get to 12 or 15 a lot faster now than you used to. Like, you might have had to put 4 or 5 or 6 pieces of criteria in the MLS to get it down to 12 or 15. Well, right now, you might only have to put a zip code and a number of bedrooms to get to 12 or 15.
Right.
But I'm going to get to 12 or 15, and I'm going to put those 12 or 15 on the screen, and we're going to pull them up and look at them. And you know what they're going to do? 3 of them or 4 of them are ugly. Right? So they don't want those. So I've eliminated those. Anyway, I'm going to get that 12 to 15 down to about 5 or 6. And I'm going to lean into them and I'm going to go, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. So here's what we know. These are the only 5 homes that work for what you're looking for. So let's go out and buy one of them. Now do we get that works in absolutely any market?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter if there's 30,000 homes for sale or 30 homes for sale. Understanding that these 5, I'm pointing to my monitor, right? Pretending there's a screen behind me. These 5 homes right here are the only ones that fit for what you want. So we're going to go out and buy one of them. And then I'm going to add this piece to my consultation. And I'm going to go, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Now, the difference now from when you bought your home 10 years ago is that 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot of competition for these 5 homes. Now there is. There's other people looking at these 5 homes that work for you. You're going to be in competition on these. And my job is to help you win that competition. And what I need you to know is that as a buyer in 2021, like, you've got to play to win one of these 5 homes that works for you. So Rochelle, just keep going with me. You're going to be my buyer, okay? So are you willing to play to win?
Sure. What does that mean?
I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Right here is a listing that I just sold last week. Excuse me. I just sold this listing last week. You can see it right here, 123 Main Street, Des Moines, Iowa. And do you see the list price here? It was listed for $350,000. See that, Rochelle?
Yeah.
Okay. This is an offer I got on that house. 123 Main Street, Des Moines, Iowa. And look, they offered full price, $350,000. Guess what my seller did?
Took it.
They rejected it. Here's another, well, here's why, because here's another offer I got on that same house, 123 Main Street, Des Moines, Iowa, except this offer was $360,000.
Wow.
Yeah, guess what they did?
They took it.
Rejected it. Here's another one I got on the same house, $370,000. Guess what they did?
They had to have taken that one.
They rejected it. Here's the one they took, Rochelle, $375,000, 123 Main Street, Des Moines. Now, I only showed you 4 of the offers. Here's the other offers I got on that house. Okay, so here's something I need you to understand. When we go out and look at these 5 houses, I need you to know that the list price is the start line. It's not the finish line. All right? It's the start line, it's not the finish line. Because what did I just showed you? My $350,000 house sold for $375,000. So here's why the other thing you notice is, Rochelle, you're approved up to what?
250.
All right. Do you want to spend any more than 250? Can you spend any more than 250?
No.
Okay. Then if you notice the homes I pulled up, they're all started at 200. See, if the list price is the start line, not the finish line, I can't show you any homes listed for 250 because it's going to sell for 275 or 280. And that's not what you're going to pay. So when we go out and look at properties, we're going to look at homes listed 200, 215, 220, because you're going to pay 230, 240, 250 for those. And if I show you a $250,000 house that you can't buy, you'll never find a $200,000 house that you like.
Well, so should I just rent?
Well, that's my point. If you're not willing to play to win, then this isn't the market for you. And I would rather turn you down now than put you on a journey you can't win and let you down later. So I got to ask, I mean, are you okay knowing that we're going to go look at homes that are 225? You're going to probably pay 250 for it. You're going to compete with other people. Are you okay with that? Or is it better for you to stick and rent?
I think I'd like to see the homes and make offers.
Okay, well then let's do that. Now let me tell you something else we're going to do. Is that when we go look at these 5 homes and you find, and don't be surprised by the way if the first one or second one we look at is the one you buy, and we go and you say, look, we go in the first one and go, this is it. We're not going to look at the other 4. I'm going to call that listing agent immediately and I'm going to ask some questions. Number 1, do you have any other offers? Number 2, what's really important to your seller? Because my buyer wants to write the offer to them. My buyer wants to write the offer in the way that your seller will like it, because it may be price, but it may be something else. They might be worried about where they're going to go next. And so maybe they want a closing date that's in May, or they'll let you close in April, but they want to stay in the house until the middle of June. Who knows what it is? We're going to find out what that is, and then we're going to write the offer according to that. Now, so here's what I just told you. You're going to pay more than list price, and the seller, you might let the seller stay there for 30, 60, or 90 days without paying anything after you've closed. Are you okay with that?
I don't know. I guess this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Well, and that's why we're having this meeting, because it's important you know the rules of the game going in and don't find them out while we're in the middle, right? See, what happens is it's kind of like when I play a game with my 9-year-old, if she's losing, she changes the rules. Yeah. I like to know the rules from the beginning, and I don't want you to think that I'm changing the rules on you in the process. So I am giving you here are all the different things that could happen. So if any of those things do happen, you're prepared. And I don't want to, again, take you out and play a game that you can't win. Now, what we know is even paying $250,000 for the house, it's going to be less than you're paying in rent, and you're building wealth. I just need you to know this is what it's going to take right now. So are you ready to go look at one of these 5?
Yes.
Okay, great. Anyway, I would add that kind of dialogue to your presentation right now. And by the way, if you do that, wouldn't they sign the buyer agency agreement just about every time? Because they feel like they have somebody on their side. But when you don't, how many of you have had the situation where you did not set your seller up for what the market is like, and they go in and it's listed at 250 and they go, can we offer 245 and see what happens? And it sells for 275 and they're like, what? Because you didn't tell them. And that's why I love using pull up a listing. And what I would do, I would print out the papers of the listing paperwork. I mean, I'm just using the class, but I would print out the papers, and I would take the offers you got and I would redact the names of the buyers, but I would hold up the actual offer, and on the front page of each offer, I would write rejected in red marker. And I want you to notice with my language, I didn't say they turned it down. I didn't say they took another offer.
No. Oh yeah, that was.
Rejected.
Rejected. It's like the word consequences.
James froze.
But that was some good stuff.
Yeah, oh man.
Come back.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you done. The question is, if they ask you, what would you do? How do you answer that?
I said they what?
I just want the question.
Yeah. Frozen.
Yeah,
You're still a little frozen.
it us or is it him?
It's him because we have everyone else still.
Oh,
So he's gonna,
And they're not frozen?
and they're not frozen. So he's gonna join back in.
okay, Marcia,
Yo,
you said, what would you, if you're talking to a buyer and a buyer said, what would you do?
well, and I have those conversations and tell them that we're gonna go in, you're gonna be in the bidding war, are you willing to pay above market value and the list price? You know, we can look and see what others, are you willing to do that, how long are you gonna stay there? And they say, well, if you were buying and that's your price range, would you pay over the list and market value? Where does that put me?
They're not my consequences.
Well, then, so if I'm only gonna live there 5 years, will the value be up to that by the 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, those are all.
I don't know.
I can't be.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So was that, does that make sense of what I'm walking through? I want to set y'all up to win. I want your buyers to be set up to win. And I think we've got to walk them through these conversations. Otherwise, you're making it harder on yourself. The realization I had the other day was we don't get paid per offer written. We get paid per contract close. Some of you are writing 10, 12 offers on one buyer. I want you to stop doing that. That's all. So Rochelle, I think that's the one. Now, the other thing is, do you have buyers or sellers who aren't selling because they don't know where they're going to go next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a script for that, and let me pull it up here. Hold on one second.
That was great. Thank you for the role play.
Oh, you're welcome. And hold on. Yeah, you're welcome. And that's a little dialogue I came up with. So I hope that helps you. This next one is from Denny Grimes. I learned it from Denny, and an agent who's on my calls. I don't know if any of you are on my calls. I do these calls every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, so 7 o'clock in Des Moines. And you're welcome to be on. They're open to anybody and they're free, and we do them every single weekday. And the link Charlene's on, I can see her, she's getting excited. PivotShiftCall.com is the Zoom link, PivotShiftCall.com, 7 a.m. Central for 20 minutes or so. And Robin, who is from what, Maryland or something, Charlene, I don't know exactly where she's from. She had brought up this issue of sellers not selling because they don't know where they're going to go. And she asked in the Facebook group, are any of you in the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group? We have 82,000 members. So I started that group about a year ago, and I invite all of you to join us. She asked the question in the Facebook group, and she ended up getting to have a role play with Denny Grimes, who's an amazing agent. And here was the things that he gave her on that. So everybody jot this down. Because the objection is, if I sell my house, where am I going to go? Right? That's the objection. So who wants to role play that one with me? Who wants to be the seller that doesn't know where they're going to go? Charlene. Okay, Charlene, unmute yourself. Hey, Charlene, how you doing, friend?
Good. Thank
All right.
you.
So you're the seller that doesn't know where you're going to go, right?
Yes.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is acknowledge and isolate the objection. Here we go. You know, Charlene, I understand why you feel that way. Let me ask you, other than your concern about finding another home, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list with me today?
My house is a mess.
No, Charlene, just say no.
No.
Okay, so Charlene, we could clean it though. If we got it cleaned, other than not knowing where you're going to go next, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list with me?
No.
Okay, all right. So then the next thing, step out. The next thing I'm going to do is really assess her wants and needs and understand her current situation. So here we go. All right, Charlene, so tell me a little bit more about why you want to move.
Well, we're all getting up in years. I have my mother with me, and we need more space on the main floor.
Okay.
We have a lower level that we're not utilizing because they can't get down there.
The bedrooms are upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you about that with the stairs. In fact, I'm working with a lot of clients that feel the same way. So if I found the perfect one-level home, would you be in the position to buy before you sell?
I believe so.
You do. Okay, so then we would start, why don't we start the process of looking for that one-level home right now? Let's go do that first. And then once we find it, we can put your home on the market. Does that work for you?
I like that idea, James.
Okay, all right. Now let's go back, and I want you to tell me that you have to sell your house first. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So tell me that.
I really don't want to carry 2 mortgages, and I really need to sell this. I need to know I have a buyer, a solid buyer for this house before I put mine on the market.
Okay. So assuming you sell your house first, what would that look like for you?
You mean time frame or what?
Yeah.
Okay. I could be ready to list by middle of April.
Okay.
And,
So but the perfect plan, if I'm hearing you, the perfect plan would be to go right from this house to the next one. I mean, you got your
yes.
mom with you and all that kind of stuff. So you don't want, right? I mean, what is there anything other than that moving right from this house to your next one would do for you?
well, yeah, it would lower expense of moving twice.
Anything else?
I would, well, my husband also, he doesn't like change, so he would have to be on board.
Okay. All right. So moving twice would be a hassle. It'll cost you more money and it's going to frustrate your husband. So we don't want
Yes.
any of those things to happen. Okay. How long then do you think it would take you to find a house that would work for you?
30 days.
Okay. So if we found a buyer that let you stay into your house for another 4 or maybe even 6 weeks after you close, would that make you feel better by not having to move twice?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because buyers are definitely more flexible in this market. And in fact, some of them might even let you have the opportunity to stay in that house for that 4 or 6 weeks for free. Would that work for you?
Free is always good, James.
All right. All right. So why don't we do this? Let's get your home on the market. We're going to find that buyer. We're going to let them know that you want to be able to stay in the house for 4 to 6 weeks after closing. So they're going to buy it knowing that that's what you want to do. So that
Sure.
way you agree to an offer that allows you to do that. And then we'll spend that time going out to find your next house. How does that sound?
Great.
All right. Sign here, press hard.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So that's the script I would use there is, and again, it's you've got to do a couple of things, right? You've got to find out and isolate their objection. Is the true objection, I don't know where I'm going to go, or is it my house is not clean? Come on. I'm just kidding with you. So acknowledge and isolate their objection. Number 2, find out their wants and needs and understand their current situation. Wants and needs. Here's why we're moving, right? We want to be on one floor. And assess their situation. Can they move without selling? The answer here was no the second time around. Find the motivation behind that. What's the hassle that might show up? Then get their timetable. How long do you think it'll take you to find a house? And then share their options with them. And I want you to think that, notice, what did I do every time she gave me an answer? What did I do next?
Repeated it.
I repeated it, so I affirm that I'm listening, and then I followed up with a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, this is not a time we tell and sell. This is a time we ask and listen. If you truly want to win in a market like this, we got to quit telling and selling. So we don't say things like, oh, well, you know what? Don't worry about that because blah, 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 blah. We've got to ask and listen. Like, because it could have been the first time I asked her, could you buy a house without selling yours? Her answer was what?
Yes.
Yes. Well, then let's go buy one right now. Let's go buy one right this second.
You might be.
And then as soon as we get, well, I'm going to go in and teach her how we're going to find one right now, right? So I'm going to teach that process to her because I still believe there are only 5 houses. There are only 5 houses. There are only 5 houses. I don't care the market. There are only 5 houses. And so we're going to buy one of those 5, but I'm going to go buy a house right now. And the second we get under contract, like once I say, here's your signed purchase agreement, you are under contract. Here is the listing agreement. Sign this right now. But most of your people cannot do it twice. So what am I going to do? We're going to go put the house on the market right now. And we're going to say, we're going to make sure you stay in here for a period of time. Did I mic just go out?
No, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. So anywho, that's that. Was this helpful, friends?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, good. I love you in Des Moines. You know what? I feel really bad because they had asked me to come and teach business planning clinic for you last October. And we had it on the calendar to do that. And you know what? The COVID numbers saw a huge spike where I am in Florida. And I just simply wasn't comfortable hopping on an airplane at that time and coming to do business planning clinic. And I wanted to apologize because I know that upset some of you. And I want you to know, though, that I do care about you, and I look forward to the day that I can see you in person again. I've had shot number 1. It was in this arm. We have a drive-through. So I drive right through, and they poke you. And then you have to wait 15 minutes and drive home. And I get shot number 2 on April 16th. And hopefully this fall, if you would have me back, I'd be honored to come and actually do it in person for you. Again, I know that it disappointed some of you that I wasn't there in October, and so I just wanted to apologize because I love the Des Moines Market Center with all of my heart. I think about your story, and Susan, there's probably people in office that don't know the story. I know you know the story, and you were there. How many of you were there in the beginning? Raise your hand if you were there in the beginning and know the story. And Marie was there, and I was at the inspirational brunch where Mo said, we're going to make sure our people get paid. And they passed around manila envelopes and 15,000 agents stuffed cash in them. That's how that started. And I think about the story of the Des Moines Market Center and what you've been through and what you've created there. I got to tell you, those of you that don't know the story, you're in a special place. You're in a legendary market center. You're in the right place. There's nothing like it. Just lean into it, participate, and go sell some houses. That's what I want you to do in Des Moines. Thank you for having me, everybody. I appreciate and love you. We'll see you later.
Thank you, James.
James, we have a question.
Too late.
Oh, man.
What's your
Oh, it was Brucey.
All right, guys, stay on. We're gonna have a wrap-up team meeting.
What were you gonna say, Bruce, as you've been participating?
Bruce, what was Bruce?
I just want to know if you guys have heard about Angie's letter from Nikki Dollar. They've been talking about it on Facebook on his 7 o'clock in the morning meeting here for the last few months. And I cannot find that thing.
Bruce, somebody posted it for you. I'll post it.
I mean, I run the command like he said, and I just cannot.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's on
you
that.
can search by author, but you got Nikki spelled a little bit different.
N-I-K-K-I.
Yeah. Our smart plans by.
Our one. Why doesn't she come inside?
Now, one of you guys gonna post that on our, it's a Castle Facebook. On our internal Facebook page? Okay, all right, Jackie's gonna post that on our internal Facebook page.
Okay, Bruce.
Do you have anything else?
Tiffin.
Tiffin, Tag, you're it. Okay, we're gonna go through here. Like Delane said, we're gonna have just a few items of business, and then we'll have our potluck lunch after a few really exciting infomercials. No. Tiffin.
I'm taking my coat off.
Yeah, she just walked in. So Tiffin is gonna talk to us about the luxury division that we have growing within our market center. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, fantastic, thank you.
Sort of. Okay, Delane.
Yeah.
Can you see if you can open that?
Yep.
That was something I wanted to show everybody.
You
It
come
literally
over
just came to
here
mind.
because
Oh,
the Zoom
okay.
people can't see you.
Okay, real quick. I think I've talked real briefly about luxury in another team meeting, and we're in the process of getting this rolled out to our market center, and I'm getting bits and pieces from Keller Williams International. So that's why you keep hearing a little bit of bits and pieces with me. Keller Williams, so if you weren't at a previous team meeting, or if you didn't come to the luxury training session that I did a few weeks ago, just to kind of back up, Keller Williams has always had a luxury division, and you had to be a member of that luxury division. You had to pay a fee every month to be a member of that luxury division. And that was in order to call yourself a luxury agent, and that was to use their luxury signs. Several of us, including myself in the market center, have been members of that luxury division. And Keller Williams a little over a year ago, said, hey, we sell more luxury homes than any other brokerage in the United States, or in North America maybe. And they really did some focus groups. They talked to a lot of their luxury agents around the country, And out of those discussions, they redid the model for luxury with Keller Williams. And it's really exciting for all of us. So the biggest change is that it went from a buy-in model where you had to pay this fee every month to call yourself a Keller Williams luxury agent to an earn-in model. And the most exciting news is that if you have luxury is defined now at the, there's no floor on luxury. You could kind of call anything you wanted luxury. So luxury is now defined at the local level. They divided the country up into regions based on, we're part of the Greater Heartland region. They went to the Greater Heartland region. They did a survey by county of property values. And they set our floor at $700,000. So anytime you have a listing, any of you, whether you've been a luxury agent or not, anytime if you would have a listing that is $700,000 plus, that is considered a luxury home. And there's benefits that without paying to be a luxury agent, there's benefits that you get. So there are things like if you go into Command, and if we log in, I'm going to share this screen. So if you go to Command and then click on Connect. So if you log into Command and then you can see where it says Command and go to Connect, and then go over to the right side, right up here, click on Connect over there. And then there's a drop-down box that says Communities. Go down on that and click the new KW Luxury. Now, we're going to talk about earn-in agents. I'm an earn-in agent and I have another drop-down box. So they're calling KW Luxury. They've rebranded it. Everything, there's even a little bit different Keller Williams Greater Des Moines logo that we use for this. It's all gray, and Rochelle and I are getting together on that. Yes. But so $33.5 billion is Keller Williams luxury market share. We had a huge surge across the country in luxury last year. So it was like a 34% increase in luxury sales in North America from 2019 to 2020. So this is a great year. And I know personally, just last year in Des Moines, we had a huge surge in luxury sales. So it's just Crystal. Is Crystal in here? She's not here. She's got a listing over in Timberline and Urbandale that's listed at $785 maybe. And she said to me, I never thought I was going to ever have the opportunity in this price range. And so I want everyone to be prepared. So when you have the opportunity, you know what tools are there for you. So let's see if you can kind of scroll down. There you go. Scroll down. So if you are not an earn-in agent, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute, you all have access to, you can get luxury yard signs. You can see that white yard sign. So I've got luxury yard signs that look similar to that, but mine are all black. So the new look and feel of this is a lot of white, a little bit of black, and there's kind of a warm gray color that they use in some of their marketing materials. You have to order these luxury yard signs. We don't order them through the Market Center here. You have to order them on your own through their website. And if any of you have a listing coming up and you know you want to order them, you need to allow a couple weeks. So it's not like, okay, I've got this listing on Tuesday. You're not going to get the sign here. I'm going to order a couple of them so that I have them, but I would lend my sign out, except it's not going to do any good because the panels are custom printed. So if you're thinking that you have the opportunity for one, you might get those signs ordered. And if you have any trouble, you just click on that request yard signs and it takes you, if you have any trouble with that, come to me and I'll help you order signs. Marketing collateral. So if you go, I won't have Delane do this right now, but if you go into Command, or you can do that click collateral here, you're going to be able to, you're going to see in designs that there's a bunch of new luxury designs. And you can drag those over and you can put them in your templates. And the look is very clean. They used a marketing company, I'm not sure on where, but they did a lot of work and focus groups around what do these marketing materials need to look like. And it came back. The look is very clean. I've had some people be like, oh my gosh, it looks like there's nothing there, but it's that way on purpose.
I may not know the answer to this, and I'm going to be just devil's advocate because I can call out on it, but that sign doesn't have much red on it. And we supposed to have a specific amount of red on?
So
our
the
signs?
luxury, if you're doing something that you're branding it luxury, there's no red
There's no red.
on luxury. So the new, what I call the DBA logo, so our K, where it says KW and then it says Greater Des Moines on it, that logo, to use it on the luxury stuff, it actually, it's too
The
small,
red
you
on
can't
it
see
is
it.
a logo.
It's actually our names in like gray and black. Yeah. No, so that's, yeah, it's new. We have an ad in the Des Moines magazine, and we did use the red logo because we had to submit that ad early in January, and Keller Williams International didn't have the they didn't have the templates out to us, and they didn't have all of the style guide out to us to tell us what to use yet. So there's yard signs, there's luxury marketing collateral, which is in command. There are luxury training events every single Friday at noon Central Time. There is a luxury training event on Connect that you can log in and see. And I wrote down, so this Friday is Good Friday, so there's no training this Friday, but April 9th, it's how to build your referral network to grow your luxury business. April 16th, it's how to leverage technology to grow your luxury business. So there's some really good training in there. And if you're like Crystal said, I never thought I would have had this opportunity. If you're like, I don't know if I'll ever be in the luxury, take the training anyway. It's going to help you with your business, whether it's luxury or not. And it's really good training. Okay, so then I've mentioned this earn-in model. So they went from the buy-in model to the earn-in model. Basically what the earn-in model means is that if you sell 4 $700,000 plus properties, and I believe it's listings and buyers. So if you represented a buyer at that level or had a listing at that level. So 4 transactions, $700,000 plus within a 24-month period, and it's a rolling thing. You are considered an earn-in agent, and you get additional luxury benefits, and you do not have to pay. So additional luxury benefits are, they're going to do I think it's monthly mastermind with Gary Keller. So I did one last Friday. It was awesome. And I've never been in a mastermind with a small group with Gary. And it was, even though it was on Zoom, it was really cool. And I have 4 pages of notes from the mastermind. It was 2 hours long. It wasn't like a little 40-minute thing. It was 2 hours long. But it was like a little mini family reunion. And you've got agents all over the country. I've connected with an agent out in California about some marketing stuff and branding stuff that I have for me personally. And she was like, do you want to come to California this summer and just shadow me for 2 days? And I'm like, yeah, probably. So, I mean, it's just everyone has been super welcoming. And what I love about it is it's really pulling that luxury community together across the country. And I want to be that resource here for you guys in our market center. So if you guys have questions about luxury, just come to me, whether it's a CMA question or whether it's how do I market this listing, or I've got buyers coming to town and I've never shown in this price range, or I need to know about neighborhoods, or I need to order a sign. I think I have a listing coming up. Just come and I'll help you and walk you through it. And like I said, it feels a little disjointed because they're rolling this out from the KWRI level, and it's getting rolled out pieces. So some of these things, like a week ago, we had these coming soons were everywhere. And now it's like every day things are opening up. So things are opening up to me as well. One of the things I wanted to show you that I think is so cool, and I saw this at Family Reunion last year, and it wasn't, Keller Williams didn't have it. It was a Keller Williams agent that taught a luxury class. And she showed these digital brochures that she does for her properties. And then she has one for her team when she goes out on listing appointments. And she was using them, and I went to the class and I was like, where do I get these? And she got them from like China or someplace. So what happened after Family Reunion last year? Because she gave me the place where I could order them and everything. And they were literally coming from China. So after Family Reunion last year, which was in February, everyone knows what happened. I could not get them. So as part of the luxury division, Keller Williams now has them. And they're $75. So I ordered this one. I have not customized it yet. It comes to you. You do a video, put it on a thumb drive. You plug the thumb drive. I Elaine opened the box for me. This is the first I've seen it. But I understand you plug the thumb drive in and you load your video on here. And so I ordered this one just kind of as a test. I have a listing, I think, coming up. So I'm going to do a little listing brochure on that. I do hosted listings on a lot of, if it's $1 million plus property, if I can be there, I'm there during the showings. And so this is something that, yes, I'll have really nice printed collateral, but I'm going to have this as well, just to show some of the like intricacies of the house that are hard to talk about in a brochure. So this is something that I think is pretty cool. I'll have it in my office if anybody wants to come look at it.
I don't know how you could ever lose a listing if you were showing that.
Well, what I can tell you is nobody else in Des Moines is walking in with
That's
this.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. If you were at an open house, and you know what, if you were at an open house, you could have this there. You could videotape things. I don't know, the broker may say no, but you could videotape the sellers talking about why they love their home. I mean, you could do it. So you could tell the story about the home, like how they always say, tell a story. But you can literally tell a story with this.
Do they have those, that don't say luxury on it? So if we had like a $500,000 house, that would still be amazing.
Just, as far as I know, it's just through the luxury division. But I have a question on that because I was like, nobody else in Des Moines has these, and wouldn't this set us apart? Yeah, wouldn't this set us apart? And at $75 a piece, really?
I went to the,
Like,
I
yeah.
went to a session this
Yeah.
year at Family Room where they had those.
Yes.
went to that session.
Yeah. Yeah. So this woman that had them, like she ordered them, I think if you Googled them, like you could probably find them, but I love that it's got Keller Williams on it and stuff. So I'm going to do a little research because I kind of had the same thought.
And if you find them, we should like order a bunch together.
Yeah. And I want to say this was 75, but there might have been an option. If you were ordering like 10 of them, it might have been, And I want to say they'll also customize them for you. Like if you have a team or something like that, I think they'll customize them for you. But I ordered them like the day I got information that they had them. I ordered them, and it took a couple weeks to get it here. So anyway, let me check my notes and see if I forgot anything else. So
Training
again,
at the end of April.
what did you say?
Staging training at the end of April.
Oh, yes. We are going to start doing some luxury training here. And so we've got a stager. Some of you know Jody Peterman or Jody Cook. I don't know which one she goes by. She has Elizabeth Aaron Designs. She's an interior designer. They also have a staging business. I will vouch for, they have staged several of my they've staged several of my homes, but several of my luxury homes. I had a house we listed at $1.55 million last summer, and it sold in 48 hours at full price. And I will tell you, it was because of her staging. It was a single dad with 3 boys that lived in the house, and it needed a lot of help. Yeah. I mean, what she did in the pantry alone was amazing. Yeah. So, so she's going to be here training on luxury staging. But again, if you're like, I'm not at that luxury level, come anyway. And that is it's Wednesday of April, right after team meeting. So it's kind of bring your own lunch or something like that, probably.
Tiffany, I have a question from Shar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Getting back to the virtual, the $75 purchase, is that reusable, or is it just specific to one listing?
I don't know because I haven't tested it, but I think you put it on a thumb drive, you load it on there. What I need to see is, can you delete it when you get it? Can you delete it off of here and put a new thumb drive in? I don't know. I literally,
Okay, thanks. I'd be interested. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't even know where. Oh, I see. There's like a little plug right here. I think it is. Yeah, I know.
When it comes to luxury.
So yeah, everybody can come play with it in my office. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I think so, Shar, but I'm going to test it and I'll tell you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. Again, if you've got a listing that you think might be coming up, come see me and I'm happy to help you. And then, if you're doing like agent opens at your listings and things like that, let's get out there and support everybody. Crystal had one last week and it was really, I walked in and Rochelle was there and Gabby was there and Jeannie was there and Jackie was there. Yeah, it was really good to walk in and see so many of us there and supporting agents and things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna do it, we need to get it out there more, because a lot of people missed it, they came in late, unfortunately, I was working a track meet, but I think sometimes we don't get it out to the agents enough for us to get it ahead of time and to help support, because it's always fun to support the agents.
The other thing that I did a couple times last year that worked really well was a couple agent opens that I did. I did a coffee for 2 hours in the morning, and I did wine and cheese from 4 to 6 at night on the same day. So it did kind of eat up my day, but I got really good turnout from co-op agents because I offered the 2 times. So if you're doing any kind of agent open, consider maybe, if the sellers are okay with it, offering 2 times, because you'll get more people there. So, okay.
On that note about going, this is Susan, I would suggest that it's a great idea, because you might not otherwise, if you're not working the luxury space, this is an opportunity for you to familiarize yourself. Have some conversations with luxury agents who are showing up there. But also, when you get that one-off either buyer or luxury listing opportunity, you can speak to it and say, well, I was in the one in Quail Park last week, and you start to have a firsthand level of information, of knowledge. And you also develop relationship with agents who you've met there or that you've spent time with, that you can use as references and chat with about it. So lots of good reasons to support those, in my opinion.
When I started in real estate, one of the first things Susan told me was, right now, while you're not busy, go out, and she said, get to know the inventory. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember telling me that, but I remember Susan told me, get to know the inventory. And that is so true. And speaking to agent opens, true story, I had one in Quail Park last fall, and it was a $1.5 million listing. And an agent walked in, and the co-op agent walked in, and she came into the kitchen, and she looked at me and said, how long are you going to be here? And it was like 10:30. And I said, well, we're doing coffee from 9 to 11. Why? And she said, I'm bringing a client. I'll be right back. And I said, well, I'll wait for you however long you want. Those people bought the house. 23 days later, they bought the house. So, yeah. So those agent opens.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job. Thank you, Tiffin. Great job. Was that informative? Okay, and I want to tag on something that, so like she said, even if you're not in the luxury market, I want you to be thinking about what you can do to raise your level of service and increase your value add to your customers. And I think one of the best ways to do it, besides watching Selling Sunset, anybody else watch that? Besides doing that, talk to your luxury agents, watch them, listen to them, and like you said, go to the agent opens. I think there's so much to be learned from that. So, Delane, would you update us on Matterport? Did I say it right?
Yes,
Really cool.
yes. So 3D virtual tours, I mentioned this at the team meeting last week. And we still have one special left. So if you have a listing coming up, or even in the future that you think you would want to do a virtual home tour of, let me know. We're doing half off the video. So the video is $125, so half off of that. And then my services, which are putting it on the MLS, putting it on Realtor.com, Zillow, so on and so forth. And then Erin is also throwing in on the video side, her son is throwing in a little sneak peek video. You also get, with my services, a posting on the Keller Williams Greater Des Moines Facebook page. That's our public page of your listing. And my services are free for this. So I have one more. Send me an email, marketing@kwdsm.
Dibs, dibs, dibs.
Send me an email.
Dibs. Okay, I will.
And we'll do that. Otherwise, if you're interested in the future for a 3D virtual tour, we are offering them. Just send me an email. I send you a Google form to fill out, and then we take care of the rest. So what questions do you have on 3D virtual tours? Yes.
What would that package run on a normal non-commission basis?
Yep, so $125 for the video, and that's for the videographer, and then my services are $25, and then I have another package for $25. There's a social media side, and then there's a print or marketing side. So, yeah.
So up to $175.
Yes.
Okay. Would be full blown.
Would be the full blown, yeah, full blown.
Cool.
Any other questions?
I think Shar has a question.
Shar, do you have one?
No, I'm dancing because I have a new listing and she's gonna have to get her house ready.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, Sandy.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that. Real quick, I want to introduce any guests that we have here today. I do have a guest here. His name is John. Everybody say hey.
John.
He's in school right now and just exploring and really getting a feel for the KW culture. So welcome. We're glad you're here. Do we have any other? We're online? Okay, sounds good. Terry is going to come up next. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing a jersey. Come on up, Terry. Okay. Terry has a jersey on his book. Yeah, I'm a big Thunder fan. Oklahoma City Thunder.
I am not an Iowa
But we
fan.
still like you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Anyway, so you've got a big contest going on.
We do have a great contest going on, the Listing Madness, for those of you who have missed any of the signs that are around the office. So we've had some people that have entered the contest this week, and I need them all to come on up if you're here. Gabby? Tiffany, come on up.
Tiffany?
Rundle Group? Not here. Ernst Group, where'd she go? Sly Team? Sample Team?
Yeah.
She's here. Munger. Marcia, come on in. Rochelle, come on up.
Don't worry, Marcia, get up here.
Jenrad? Not here. You gotta come over here. You gotta come over here with the group. Nikki Snyder and Alana Riley representing our college team so well. So y'all get to pick a balloon.
Oh, I'll take her color.
Pick a prize, and then you go see the front desk, see Nadine at the front desk to get your prizes. And every week we're gonna do this. We have to sit on it and break them. You do it however you want to balloon pop it.
Now? Do you want them to pop it now? Now?
Whenever you want. They're a little bitty piece of paper, so don't lose them.
Oh,
Keep entering. Your listeners and contracts.
Aw, thank you.
Keep entering.
$1,000!
Now tell us some of the awards you guys put
We got Starbucks. I got Papa Murphy's.
Yeah, not to mention a closing and a little bit of money.
Starbucks,
Starbucks, ladies. Thank you. So much fun.
Yeah, so anyone who was on Zoom, you can come into the office and get your balloon.
Thank you, Terry.
That contest is ongoing until the end of April, so go get your listings and you get to have your name drawn maybe next time or in a balloon or whatever. They're going to come up with something fun for you guys. So thank you guys for being here. Before we close out, I want you to reflect back to James Shaw. He had a lot of really big nuggets for us, and I'd like to hear 3 ahas.
Play to win.
Play to win. What else?
Big red rejection.
Yes.
Yeah, big red rejection. It's a psychological thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, what else?
Get it down to 5.
Get it down to 5, and it doesn't matter the market, right?
5.
Yeah.
Down to 5.
I love the close in 30 days and let the seller stay in the house for X number of weeks after that for free of charge.
Did that give you something to add value to your clients? Yep. Get listings, guys. Listings are everything right now. Door knock. Call your database. Go help them. You've just been given some new tools to do that. So go knock them dead, guys. Thank you for being here.
Let's eat!
Let's eat. You've already been eating.
Hi, Erin.
Thanks, guys.